Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Just yesterday, somebody posted this on Facebook, and they were going to do it on glass, and I'm still kind of waiting for them to ask for the file. But somebody else posted and said, you need to make a video on how you did that. Well, should really be a two-part, but I already went ahead and traced the house. And if you look, that's what I have right there. And I'm just going to go through a couple of good steps to think about when you're tracing. I normally trace it, have it Corel trace it, but there's so many clouds and trees and stuff, it'll never really work out. So if you just take your 2-point line and stay zoomed in, you get your 2-point line and start like right there and just take it all the way to the top. Now, I've already done it, so I'm not going to take the whole thing. But if you will keep in mind when you're doing this to get on the node when you start the new line, because that way they'll be connected. Now you can see that I'm a little bit high there, so I can take the shape tool and bring that down. I'm not going to take a lot of time. We actually need to bring that back down a little bit. Take the 2-point line and go from there to there. You know, sometimes the angle of the house. Now right up here, even though the house doesn't have a curve, it kind of looks like it is. And I wouldn't want a sharp point there, so I'm going to use the 3-point line. And I'm going to go across and put a little curve on it. And then I can grab the 2-point line again. And I'm going to zoom out because I want to make sure I get on the node. That's probably the most important thing of the video. Click on the node so it'll continue that line, because after we move it out of the way, if those lines aren't touching, you're going to have to fix them. But this way, if you go from node to node, and I've already gone this far, I might as well finish the house. Now this one we're going to leave as a peak. And we're on the home stretch. But see, make sure you click and it says node. Now here, you got to kind of figure out what you want to do. Do you want that gutter sticking over? And I'm going to say yes, so we're going to just make a gutter. And then we're going to leave out some of that other part of the gutter. Then just go down to that edge. Then go down to this edge. I'm going to have to zoom in again. It's better to be zoomed in than where you can see what you're doing. Same thing here. Do you want that gutter? Or, it's not going to really be that visible, but we might as well leave it for right now. That looks just like what we've already done. Now I'm going to go straight down. Then you got to figure out, where you want it in the yard. So we're going to bring it down a little bit, but then I'm going to hold down the control button and draw a line across. That way we're parallel to the ground at least. Then you got to figure out what you want to do with this driveway. And I'm going to say keep the driveway, just go there and then come straight down. Now, if you did all your nodes correctly, let me move these. Let me see what my nudge factor is still set on 6. If you've done all your nodes correctly, this ought to be one piece. But to make sure, take your rectangle tool in case it leaks and fill it in, and it didn't leak, so we did good. Now I'm going to move that over. I just nudged it. I didn't, move it. I nudged, and that's important. Now we're going to intersect it, and there's our house. Now, I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page, and I'm going to get rid of all this other stuff. You know what I'm going to keep? I'm going to show you how to keep that after we save it. So now, I'm going to convert it to a grayscale. I'm going to go to bitmap mode, grayscale, and then just say OK. Now I'm going to use a program called Engrave to do it. Now I want to delete this. I'm going to hit F4. There's our grayscale building. I'm going to go to File and Export it as a JPEG. I'm going to call it House Grave Glass 3. You want it as a JPEG bitmap, export it. You don't have to read all this. It's already high quality. Say OK. Now I'm going to go back and bring in that house because that might help us in a second. Now, I'm going to go to Photoengrave. I'm going to open the image. I'm going to house glass 3. Say okay. Now, I was real happy to find, I never have done glass. See all the different woods and stones and plastics and leather, but they have glass. Now it says ornament of glass standard. I don't know what that means. Now, I should have resized this per the customer wanted like 5.4, and I think it's, or 4.8 is what he wanted, but that he can do that pre-hand. Then I'm going to go to final process. And then I'm going to go save image, engraved, say okay. And there it is right there, glass 3 engraved. Now, here's the only thing I do not like about Photoengrave, because I've taken out the background, but I need to import that house engineer or Engrave 3. It's left a black background. I don't know why. Because in a laser engraver, that's going to engrave. So that's why I kept this. I'm going to cover up. Okay. And for some reason, it flipped the image around. I noticed that yesterday. I'm going to get a hold of, okay, we're going to go to arrange, order, front of page. Arrange, order, front of page. We want that blue on top. Now I'm going to set my nudge factor now on something really little, like 0.001. And I'm going to grab this blue, and you can see down here I've got blue, and I'm just going to minutely move this house where I can't see it anymore. And I'm going to call that good enough. Now select them both and go up to intersect. Now you remember we've got to set our nudge factor real little. There is that house without the black background. We can actually check it with the yellow box trick just to make, now there is going to be some white, but that's going to be just the way it did it to make it look engravable. So if we look at the original house versus the engraved part, this is white rock, but it looks black, more black on this. That's because it's going to engrave that and make it look different. Houses that have brick are incredible how they're going to look. I'm going to go out, hopefully if I have time today. And one thing I noticed, it's got in the original house, there was a light on inside upstairs that it picked that light on a fan. Now see, we got a tree there. I left out the trees intentionally. Now, he wanted it 4.8. If you're changing it just minutely, you could make it 4.8. If you do it a lot, you're messing up because you're changing your size of your dots. And this is really the one I wanted, 4.8. And I'm going to go out to the shop later and hopefully run this. I should have done it pre-hand. But anyway, that's a pretty easy trace. I've never done glass, so I'm really kind of curious what it's going to look like. But see, you can see the bushes in the front. Anyway, I hope that even their security sign, ADT, you can read it. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.